Nicole Carter stood outside Elite Fitness Club on the ground floor of the Morrison Building in downtown Seattle, reviewing the property documents on her tablet one more time. As of 9 a.m. that morning, she was the official owner of this 12-story mixed-use commercial building, purchased through her real estate investment company, Carter Properties Group. The acquisition had been in the works for 8 months. A complex deal involving multiple investors, extensive due diligence, and delicate negotiations with the previous owner. The Morrison Building was a prime asset, excellent location, stable tenants, and significant potential for value appreciation. Nicole had plans for renovations, lease restructuring, and strategic tenant curation to maximize the property's potential. But first, she wanted to check out the building's anchor tenant on the ground floor, Elite Fitness Club. The gym occupied 8,500 square feet of premium retail space and paid above-market rent. According to the lease documents Nicole had inherited, the gym had been there for 10 years under owner Brad Jensen. Nicole had done her research on Jensen. Elite Fitness Club marketed itself as a premium fitness experience with high-end equipment, personal training, and what their website called an exclusive membership community. The gym's social media showed a clientele that was overwhelmingly white, affluent, and what some might call Instagram-ready. As a serious fitness enthusiast who'd competed in amateur bodybuilding competitions and maintained a rigorous training schedule, Nicole was curious about the gym. If it was as good as it claimed, she might actually become a member herself. And as the new landlord, it made sense to experience firsthand what her ground-floor tenant was offering. She walked through the glass doors into a sleek, modern reception area. Electronic music played at a carefully calibrated volume. The air smelled of eucalyptus and expensive cleaning products. Behind the reception desk stood a man in his early 40s, wearing designer athletic wear with Elite Fitness owner embroidered on the chest. Brad Jensen looked up from his computer screen as Nicole approached. His welcoming smile faltered almost imperceptibly as he took in her appearance. A black woman in athletic wear carrying a gym bag. "Can I help you?" His tone was polite but noticeably cooler than it had been moments before when greeting a white member who just entered. "Yes, I'd like to inquire about membership," Nicole said pleasantly. Brad's eyes flicked over her, assessing. "Sure. Have you been to Elite Fitness before?" "No, this would be my first time. I just moved to this area." "Okay." Brad pulled up something on his computer. "So, our membership here is pretty specialized. We cater to a specific clientele. The fees reflect that." "I understand. What are your rates?" "Our basic membership is $289 per month. That includes access to equipment and group classes. Personal training packages start at an additional $400 per month." Nicole nodded. "That's reasonable for a premium facility. What does the membership include specifically?" Brad seemed surprised she hadn't balked at the price. Well, access to all our equipment, locker rooms, group fitness classes. We have yoga, spin, HIIT training. Pretty standard stuff." "What about the personal training? What qualifications do your trainers have?" "They're all certified. Some have specialties in different areas." Brad's responses were becoming more clipped, less detailed than they'd probably be for other prospective members. Nicole looked around the facility through the glass walls separating the reception area from the main gym. She could see high-quality equipment, spacious training areas, and amenities that suggested this was indeed a premium operation. "I'd like to sign up for a membership," Nicole said. Brad shifted uncomfortably. "Okay, well, there's actually a waiting list right now. We're at capacity." Nicole raised an eyebrow. "Your website says you're accepting new members. I checked this morning." "Yeah, well, the website isn't always current. We hit our membership cap last week." "I see." Nicole pulled out her phone and navigated to Elite Fitness Club's Instagram page, which had been updated 2 hours ago with a post that read, "New year, new you. Join Elite Fitness today. Limited spots available. Sign up now." The post included a Join Now link. She turned her phone to show Brad. "This post from this morning says you're accepting members." Brad's jaw tightened. "Look, I'm going to level with you. Elite Fitness caters to a specific demographic. We maintain a certain atmosphere, a certain culture. I'm not sure this would be the right gym for you." "What demographic is that?" "People who are serious about fitness, people who can commit to our training philosophy, people who fit with our community standards." The coded language was transparent. Nicole had heard variations of it throughout her life in different contexts. Elite schools, professional settings, social clubs. It always meant the same thing. I compete in amateur bodybuilding, Nicole said calmly. I train 6 days a week. I follow a structured nutrition plan. I'm extremely serious about fitness. So when you say I might not fit your demographic, what specifically are you referring to? Brad's face reddened. I didn't say anything about you specifically. I'm talking about general fit with our existing member base. Your existing member base that appears to be almost entirely white based on your social media. That's just who signs up here. We don't discriminate. We just maintain certain standards. Nicole reached into her bag and pulled out her tablet. I'd like to sign up for a membership. If you're claiming the gym is at capacity, I'd like that documented in writing. And if you're refusing membership for any other reason, I'd like that documented as well. Brad's expression hardened. You know what? I'm the owner of this gym and I have the right to determine who becomes a member. This is a private club and I can refuse membership to anyone who I don't think will be a good fit for our community. On what basis are you determining I'm not a good fit? My judgment as a business owner. Your judgment based on what? Because I've stated my qualifications, my commitment to fitness, and my ability to pay. So what factors are influencing your judgment? Brad stood up from behind the desk. I think this conversation is over. There are plenty of other gyms in Seattle. Maybe try the LA Fitness over on Capitol Hill. That might be more your speed. Capitol Hill was a diverse neighborhood several miles away. Brad's suggestion was another coded message. So you're refusing to allow me to join this gym? Nicole wanted absolute clarity. I'm saying we're full and you should look elsewhere. Nicole pulled up the Elite Fitness website on her tablet and clicked on the Join Now button. A form appeared, asking for basic information and payment details. Your website is still accepting new member registrations. Right here, I can sign up online right now. Brad reached over and closed her tablet cover. Online registration is temporarily disabled. The website team hasn't updated it yet. So to be absolutely clear, you're refusing to allow me to join Elite Fitness Club. I'm saying we don't have space for new members right now. Nicole nodded slowly, making mental notes of everything Brad had said, every excuse, every coded phrase. She pulled out her phone. I'm going to record the rest of this conversation for my records. Washington is a two-party consent state, so I'm informing you that I'm recording. Do you consent to being recorded? Brad looked alarmed. No, and you need to leave, now, or I'll call the police. For what? I'm a potential customer, inquiring about membership, for trespassing. This is private property. Nicole smiled. Actually, Mr. Jensen, this is my property. As of 9 a.m. this morning, I own this building. Carter Properties Group purchased the Morrison building. I'm your new landlord. She pulled up the deed and ownership documents on her tablet, showing Brad the official transfer paperwork with her signature and the building's legal description. Brad's face went from red to white. You're what? I'm Nicole Carter, owner of Carter Properties Group. I now own this building, and consequently, hold your lease. A lease which, I'm noticing, has a non-discrimination clause that requires you to operate in compliance with federal, state, and local civil rights laws. She pulled up the lease document on her tablet. Section 12, subsection C. Tenant agrees to operate business in accordance with all applicable laws, including but not limited to laws prohibiting discrimination on the basis of race, color, national origin, sex, disability, or religion. You just violated that clause. Brad stammered. I didn't. I never said anything about race. You suggested I try a gym in a different neighborhood. You claimed the gym was full despite active marketing for new members. You stated I didn't fit your demographic and community standards without any objective basis. You refused to allow me to complete a membership application. All of this creates a pattern of discrimination that violates your lease. Nicole put her tablet away and looked Brad directly in the eye. Here's what's going to happen, Mr. Jensen. I'm going to leave now. You're going to think very carefully about this interaction. And tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., you're going to receive a notice from my attorney regarding your lease violation. You'll have 30 days to respond. I suggest you consult with your own attorney. Wait, Brad said, panic creeping into his voice. Let's not escalate this. Maybe I was hasty. If you want to join the gym, we can work something out. Work something out? You mean now that you know I own the building, you're suddenly willing to let me join? Nicole shook her head. That's not how this works, Mr. Jensen. You discriminated against me when you thought I had no power. You only changed your position when you realized I could affect your business. That tells me everything I need to know about your values and your business practices. I made a mistake. I apologize. Do you apologize for the discrimination, or do you apologize for discriminating against someone who turned out to be your landlord? Brad didn't answer. Nicole continued. How many other people have you turned away, Mr. Jensen? How many black people, Latino people, Asian people have walked through those doors and been told the gym was full, or been steered to other facilities, or been made to feel unwelcome? How many people who didn't own the building just walked away without recourse? I've never. I don't discriminate. You discriminated against me 20 minutes ago, and I guarantee I'm not the first. Nicole headed toward the door, then turned back. By the way, I'll be conducting a full review of your business practices as part of my due diligence as the new building owner. I'll be very interested to see your membership demographics, your application rejection rates, and your marketing strategies. All information I'm entitled to review under the lease terms. She walked out of Elite Fitness Club, leaving Brad Jensen standing behind the reception desk, his carefully constructed business suddenly very precarious. Nicole spent the rest of the day meeting with her building management team, reviewing tenant files, and consulting with her corporate attorney, Michael Chen. She described the morning's incident in detail. "Do you want to pursue legal action beyond the lease violation?" Michael asked. "I want to do a full investigation first. I want to know if this is a pattern or if this was an isolated incident. Pull Elite Fitness Club's membership records, which we're entitled to under the lease. Look at application demographics if they track them, check their marketing and see who they're targeting. And if we find evidence of systematic discrimination, then we pursue lease termination, civil rights complaints and potentially a lawsuit. But I want to be thorough. I want the evidence to be undeniable." Over the next 2 weeks, Nicole's team conducted a comprehensive investigation of Elite Fitness Club. What they found was damning. In 10 years of operation, Elite Fitness Club had a total membership of 487 people. Of those 487 members, 462 were white, 94.9%, 114 were Asian American, 2.9%, or were Latino, 1.6%. Elite Fitness Club didn't formally track applications or rejections, but the team found informal notes in Brad's computer files. Many included phrases like, "not our demographic, better fit elsewhere," and referred to other facilities. A disproportionate number of these notes were associated with names that suggested non-white applicants. The gym's marketing materials were also revealing. All promotional photos featured white models. The gym's social media showed almost exclusively white members, and the community standards Brad had referenced weren't written down anywhere but seemed to be applied selectively. Most damaging were Brad's private emails to his staff. In one exchange about a potential black member who'd inquired about personal training, Brad had written, "Not sure he'd be comfortable here. Our clients expect a certain environment. Maybe suggest he try someplace in the CD." The CD was the Central District, Seattle's historically black neighborhood. In another email discussing the gym's expansion plans, Brad had written, "We need to be careful about our brand image. Elite means exclusive. We can't be a gym for everyone, or we lose what makes us special." Armed with this evidence, Nicole's attorney sent Brad Jensen a formal notice of lease violation. The letter detailed the discrimination incident involving Nicole, cited the lease's non-discrimination clause, and included summaries of the evidence, suggesting a pattern of discriminatory practices. The letter gave Elite Fitness Club 30 days to respond and proposed 3 options: voluntary lease termination with a negotiated exit, implementation of comprehensive reforms with ongoing monitoring, formal lease termination proceedings and civil rights litigation. Brad Jensen hired an attorney who initially responded with denials and defenses. The gym wasn't discriminating, it was maintaining quality standards. The demographics reflected the surrounding neighborhood. Brad's comments about Nicole were misunderstandings taken out of context. But as Nicole's legal team presented more evidence, including Brad's emails and the statistical analysis of membership demographics, Brad's attorney advised him that the case was not defensible. Elite Fitness Club was clearly violating both the lease terms and federal civil rights laws. 3 weeks after Nicole's initial visit to the gym, Brad Jensen requested a meeting. He came to Nicole's office with his attorney, looking defeated. "Miss Carter, I want to apologize," Brad began. "I was wrong about how I treated you, about how I've run my business. I let my preconceptions and biases affect my business decisions, and that was unacceptable." Nicole listened without responding. Brad continued, "I've been running Elite Fitness for 10 years, and I convinced myself I was creating something exclusive and special. But what I was really creating was exclusionary. I was keeping out people who didn't fit my narrow definition of who belonged. And that's discrimination, even if I didn't use those exact words." "What changed?" Nicole asked. "Why this realization now? Honestly, getting caught, facing real consequences." Brad looked directly at her. "I'm not going to pretend I've had some moral awakening. Your investigation forced me to look at my practices objectively, and I can't deny what the data shows. I've been discriminating." Nicole appreciated the honesty, even if it wasn't particularly noble. "So what are you proposing?"
Option 2 from your letter. Comprehensive reforms with monitoring. I want to keep my business, but I'm willing to do the work to change how it operates. Why should I believe you'll actually change? Brad's attorney interjected. We're prepared to agree to binding commitments, regular audits, diversity targets, oversight by an independent monitor. Nicole considered this. Here's what I'll agree to. Elite Fitness Club stays, but under a modified lease with new terms. You'll implement the following changes within 90 days. 1. Complete overhaul of your membership practices. Eliminate any informal screening or cultural fit assessments. Membership is open to anyone who can pay the fees and follow the rules. 2. Demographic tracking of all membership applications, acceptances and rejections. This data will be reviewed quarterly by an independent auditor. 3. Revision of all marketing materials to reflect diversity and inclusion. Your gym's social media, website and promotional materials must represent the actual diversity of Seattle. 4. Mandatory anti-discrimination training for all staff, including you. 5. Establishment of a clear complaint process for members who experience discrimination, with those complaints reported directly to me as the landlord. 6. Measurable diversity goals. Within 2 years, your membership demographics should reasonably reflect Seattle's demographics. I'm not mandating quotas, but I am saying that if your gym remains 95% white in a diverse city, that's evidence you're still discriminating. Nicole leaned forward. And Mr. Jensen, understand this. I will be watching closely. One more complaint of discrimination, one more person turned away because they don't fit your demographic, and the lease is terminated immediately. No second chances. Brad nodded. I understand, and I'll comply with all of those terms. One more thing, Nicole added. I want a public apology, not to me specifically, but to every person of color who was turned away from Elite Fitness Club over the past 10 years. Post it on your website and social media. Own what you did. Brad looked uncomfortable but agreed. The apology Brad posted 2 days later was carefully worded by his attorney, but contained genuine admissions. To the community of Seattle, and particularly to individuals of color who may have felt unwelcome at Elite Fitness Club, I apologize. Over the past 10 years, I have allowed my personal biases to influence how I operated this business. I have turned away prospective members based on assumptions about whether they would fit our gym culture. I have marketed Elite Fitness in ways that excluded rather than welcomed. And I have failed to create an environment that truly served all of Seattle's diverse communities. This was wrong. It was discriminatory. And it caused real harm to real people who deserved the opportunity to join our gym based on their fitness goals and their ability to pay membership fees, not based on my narrow and biased conception of who belonged. I am committed to changing how Elite Fitness operates. We are implementing new policies, new training, and new accountability measures to ensure that discrimination never happens again at our facility. I recognize that words are insufficient, but I hope our actions moving forward will demonstrate genuine change. The post received significant attention. Some people appreciated Brad's admission and willingness to change. Others felt the apology was forced and insufficient. Several people shared their own experiences of being turned away from Elite Fitness or feeling unwelcome there. One comment stood out to Nicole. A black woman named Tasha Williams wrote, I tried to join Elite Fitness 3 years ago. Brad suggested I'd be more comfortable at a different gym in the Central District. I was so humiliated that I just stopped looking for a gym altogether and worked out at home. Thank you to whoever finally held him accountable. Nicole responded to the comment privately, offering Tasha a complimentary 6-month membership to Elite Fitness Club once the reforms were implemented. Tasha accepted, and eventually became a regular member, even joining the gym's competitive powerlifting team. Over the following year, Elite Fitness Club transformed. The membership diversified significantly. Marketing materials featured members of all races and body types. The gym became genuinely welcoming, rather than exclusive in the problematic sense. Brad Jensen, to his credit, seemed to genuinely engage with the process. He took the anti-discrimination training seriously, consulted with diversity experts on gym culture, and personally reached out to community organizations to invite their members to Elite Fitness. Was it a complete transformation? Nicole wasn't naive enough to believe that Brad's biases had completely disappeared. But his behavior had changed, and more importantly, the systems were now in place to prevent discrimination regardless of his personal feelings. 1 year after their confrontation, Nicole actually joined Elite Fitness Club as a member, not because she'd forgiven Brad, but because she wanted to personally monitor the changes, and because the gym was, genuinely, a good facility. Her first day back, Brad approached her cautiously. Miss Carter, welcome, officially this time. Mr. Jensen. Nicole nodded. I know I can't undo what happened, but I want you to know that this gym is better, because you held me accountable. Our membership is more diverse, our culture is healthier, and honestly, the business is more successful. Turns out exclusion isn't actually good business strategy. It never was, Nicole said. You were just insulated from the consequences until you discriminated against someone who had power. And I've thought a lot about all the people I turned away who didn't have that power. I can't make amends to all of them, but I'm trying to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else. Nicole appreciated the acknowledgement. She didn't have to like Brad Jensen, but she could work with someone who was genuinely trying to change their practices. As she worked out that day, Nicole noticed the difference in the gym. The member base was visibly diverse. People of different races, ages, body types, and fitness levels trained together. The atmosphere was competitive, but supportive rather than exclusive and judgmental. A young black man working with a trainer caught her eye. He saw Nicole watching and smiled. "Just started here last month," he said. "Great gym. Feel really welcomed here." Nicole smiled back. That was what mattered. Not her personal vindication, but the fact that the next person who walked through Elite Fitness Club's doors would be judged on their membership fees and gym etiquette, not on whether they fit some narrow demographic profile. 3 years after the incident, Nicole's real estate portfolio had expanded significantly. She owned 7 commercial properties across Seattle, each housing multiple tenants. And in every single lease, she'd added strengthened non-discrimination clauses with clear enforcement mechanisms. She'd also become an advocate in Seattle's real estate investment community, speaking about how landlords could use their lease terms to promote equity and combat discrimination. Some property owners appreciated her approach. Others saw her as overly political or bad for business. Nicole didn't particularly care about the critics. She'd built her success on smart investments and ethical practices, and the two weren't mutually exclusive. Elite Fitness Club continued to thrive under the reformed policies. Brad eventually sold the business to a women-owned fitness company that maintained the diversity commitments and expanded the model to other locations. And Nicole continued her fitness training, competing successfully in bodybuilding competitions, always aware that her success was built on the foundation of refusing to accept discrimination, even when, especially when, she had the power to simply walk away. Because sometimes the most important thing you could do with power wasn't to use it for personal gain, but to use it to change systems that harmed people who came after you. That was the real meaning of Elite Fitness Club's transformation. Not one landlord holding one tenant accountable, but a demonstration that power, when wielded with intention, could create space for equity where exclusion had previously reigned.
Thank you very much for listening. Please let us know what you think of this story in the comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any other videos.